This is the old-fashioned way that we used to do when my dad showed us how to make pasta. And we made the pasta early in the morning and spread it out with a big towel so it would dry out. And then we would wait until later when it was time for dinner. And we'd have our pasta, homemade pasta.
Pasta has always been a passion of mine. It's comforting. It's uniquely Italian, even though there's noodles in every single culture pretty much. It's kind of like what brings the Italian table together, and it's a big part of what we do here. But I think that just having a family that was always around each other and always using food as that vehicle for communication and hanging out, it made it really important to me. A lot of Sundays we would get together and we would always say to our parents, "What holiday is this?" And my parents would be like, "It's not a holiday, this is just your family getting together." And we used to sit down, eat pasta, and then get up and then hang out with each other for a little bit and then sit back down, and that's when we had like the normal meal that most families would just sit down just for that meal. So when I knew I wanted to open a restaurant, I've always wanted it to be Italian. It's the food that I ate growing up, and it's the food I'm passionate about. It's the culture I'm passionate about. When Kevin O'Donnell, who's my co-chef, and myself opened this restaurant, one of the things we want to do was be the best at making pasta. And so we've invested the infrastructure to be able to make a unique style of pasta here with the mill that we have downstairs, sifting the flour. It's kind of like the #1 focus for me. There's a huge difference between homemade pasta and what comes out of the box. We can control flavor profile of how much rye we want or how much durum we want. We can control texture, how much bounce we want, how much snap we want. Ultimately, we can control where the berry comes from and who's farming it and how we're getting it. The creative process of a restaurant is like every second of your day. There's times where you could tune it out, but you're always just aware of every book that you pick up or every time you go out to eat. There's always inspiration. There's traveling, there's going to other cities. What Kevin and I do is we take all those experiences and then we filter it through an Italian point of view. At the end of it all, every dish that comes up is your idea that you get to pass forward into the restaurant. The food at the restaurant includes stuff that's traditional Northern Italian, like cicchetti. We also have your more traditional things of meat and fish and vegetables. But from a production standpoint and also from where it lies in our hearts, pasta has the most square footage of any space in the restaurant and holds the biggest section of the menu. The pasta is the last thing that comes to your table before dessert, and it's kind of like, here it is, here's the showcase. So this dish is called pasta allo scoglio, which means things that cling to the rock. It's traditionally found in a lot of the coastal cities of Italy. I think seafood is beautiful because it just kind of has its own natural flavor that you can't recreate. The shrimp are sweet, the clams are a little bit salty, the snails kind of give a different texture, as well as like a meatiness to the dish. And traditionally it would just be garlic, tomato sauce, some white wine, kind of like your stereotypical base for Italian cooking with seafood. We're gonna make some changes to it. We're gonna use scallions in addition to garlic, and then we're going to use the tomato in a much smaller capacity and kind of make it more of a butter-based sauce. We will use white wine to steam the fish, but we're gonna use vermouth in our sauce. The hard thing to do is to get the intensity of all the individual ingredients to stand out, so it's not just like this mass mix of food together, and then to round it out with balance. And so you're looking for something to be a little bit sweet, a little bit salty, a little bit bitter, a little bit sour, and then you kind of build the other textures and other things that go into it that kind of complete the dish from a guest point of view.
Service please. 207 Cappellacci. Kale salad, bread for two, 107. Make that 2 cheese plates, David. And then can you go 10 minutes on a Garganelli lumache?
Being a chef is super cool because it's a job that doesn't get stale. And not only can I be creative, but I get to evolve.
Yeah, professionally I feed people for a living, but it's not just about feeding people. I read this once that there's a level of insecurity kind of with all chefs, that they want their food to be someone to accept it. It can't just be like, I made this, so I'm happy with that. Because if I felt like that, maybe I would just cook at home. But it's really about me making it and then knowing that it's being accepted on the other end is somewhat like comforting for me. You know, when you think about feeding people, it's super exciting to think that people come in to your restaurant specifically to eat your food. It's just that little bit that pushes us over the edge where someone's like, that food was so worth it. That's, I think, what this restaurant is really special to me.
I don't have machines like you have, Michael, at the restaurant, so I'm not so up on it like you are. Wished I had it, but I'm too old for that now.
You're gonna have pasta for Christmas.
We're gonna have enough for Easter.